ES Audio.
Hi, I'm John Weeks, and this is the Evening Standard's Tech and Science Daily. Coming up, work underway for the world's first man-made meteor shower. But first, Elon Musk and AI experts want tech firms to slam the brakes on all training of artificial intelligence systems. 1,000 people have signed a letter warning of the potential risks to society and humanity by human competitive AI systems, potentially caused by economic and political disruptions. The letter calls for a 6-month halt to what it describes as the dangerous race to create systems that are more powerful than OpenAI's new GPT-4. Those behind the letter, which include Apple co-founder Steve Wozniak and researchers at Alphabet-owned DeepMind, want an agreed set of shared safety protocols for advanced AI design that's overseen and audited by independent experts. Meanwhile, there's another artificial intelligence warning, this time coming from school exam boards. The Joint Council for Qualifications in the UK says pupils should do their coursework in front of teachers so they don't use AI to complete their work. There are fears pupils and students will use tech like ChatGPT to complete assignments. Daisy Christodoulou, Director of Education at No More Marking, told MPs on Wednesday that ChatGPT is capable of producing original, very hard to detect and relatively high quality responses to any kind of question, and warned it makes uncontrolled assessments very problematic. European Union countries have agreed a landmark law to end sales of new CO2-emitting cars in 2035 after Germany won an exemption for vehicles running on e-fuels. Professor Jim Saker, an automotive management expert at Loughborough University, says it makes total sense to set a zero-emissions target without prescribing a technology such as batteries-run EVs.
Having alternative technologies apart from battery is a good thing, and the ability to explore alternatives such as hydrogen and obviously e-fuels and other new technologies that are going to come in over a longer period of time, which is obviously 12 years.
He goes on to discuss the fate of traditional internal combustion engine vehicles in the lead up to the 2035 deadline.
As current internal combustion engine cars come towards the stage whereby they are going to be sort of more limited, then that becomes an issue. We've seen it in China already, that they brought in a restriction on July the 1st, and there's been a big scramble to try and offload ICE vehicles.
And he explains how car makers are meeting the challenges of the UK government's own 2030 plan to reduce emissions post-Brexit.
A lot of the companies are actually moving into self-charging hybrid. There's a lot of hybrid vehicles on the road which allow you to hit those type of targets realistically without having to have a massive infrastructure of electric vehicle recharging points to make the system work.
It's as the UK government has today committed nearly £400 million to boost EV charging infrastructure across England. Professor Saker says the biggest issue now for EVs is access to raw materials for battery tech, as companies scramble to secure dwindling critical minerals. Work is underway to create the world's first man-made meteor shower. It'll form part of Japanese firm ALE's project Sky Canvas, which will see satellites sent into space to produce shooting stars, but also collect atmospheric data in the mesosphere. That's the third layer of the atmosphere, which is too low to be observed by satellites and too high for weather balloons or aircraft, and ALE hopes the data will help scientists develop new weather models. To create the meteor shower, they're going to release metal-based shooting star particles from one of their satellites, which will travel a third of the way around the planet before burning up in the atmosphere. The mission is due for launch in 2025. Now, there's a new dinosaur in town. London's Natural History Museum has revealed a cast of a Titanosaur skeleton, one of the biggest animals ever to walk the earth. And to give you an idea of the scale of this dino, remember Dippy the Diplodocus, who normally hangs out at the museum? Well, the Titanosaur is 10 metres longer and 4 times heavier than him. The cast is based on a skeleton found in Argentina made up of 280 bones. The largest is a 2.4 metre long femur that's on show at the museum. Coming up, could having pets as a child protect you from allergies? plus how bees can track the health of people living in cities. Why not hit follow and give us a rating during the break? Welcome back. Did you grow up with a pet dog or cat? Well, according to a study, you could be less likely to have developed allergies as a result. Researchers from Japan's Fukushima Medical University found babies living with pet cats or dogs may be less likely to develop food allergies as they grow up compared to those in pet-free homes. Analysis of 65,000 children found that being exposed to dogs is linked to a reduced risk of egg, milk, and nut allergies, while cat exposure is linked to a lower risk of egg, wheat, and soybean allergies. However, the researchers said their findings are based on self-reported data, and they cannot say for sure whether there is a causative relationship between exposure to pets and developing food allergies. And finally, a team of scientists have found a way to use bees to examine the health of cities. Experts at the NYU Tandon School of Engineering in the US took samples from beehives, which included debris at the bottom, in New York, Sydney, Venice, and Tokyo, to try to determine the microbes which make up each city. They found this varied from city to city, with genetic data from Venice dominated by fungi related to wood rot and date palm DNA, while in Tokyo, samples included plant DNA from lotus and wild soybean. The researchers said their work shows potential for using bees as a surveillance method to track microbes in cities, but might not be effective at monitoring harmful microbes that could cause human diseases. You're up to date. Come back at 4 o'clock for the Leader podcast to hear about the new ITV crime drama 6-4. We'll be back tomorrow afternoon at 1 o'clock. See you then.